Hello, 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 hello. I'm sure once you hear hello, you know that I am live. One time my husband told me, once I hear hello word, I know you're already talking to people. And I told him, yes. I told him, yes, I'm actually talking to the world. I'm actually talking to the world. So hello world, hello world, hello world, hello world, hello world. I want to welcome you to our online show, Keep It Real show, happening right now live from Nairobi, Kenya, East African time. Just 2 minutes to the top of the hour, 8 p.m. East Africa and Nigeria, 6 p.m. I want to say welcome to the early birds. Those of you that are already tuning in, Centrine and Sally, thank you so much. You early birds, God bless you people. And I already see we are 30 already, and it's not yet even the top of the hour. We are so grateful you are here. Sister Jumoke, thank you. Sharon, thank you. Aona Judy, thank you. I want to keep welcoming the early birds by name. You know, when you are early for any function, you're recognized. Rispa Wafula, God bless you. And Akoth, God bless you. I am waiting for more of our fans to keep on logging in. And Kawa, God bless you. Akot Omoka. That name is powerful. Akot Omoka. God bless you so much. Rosalind Marcia, God bless you. Patience Okene, Lydia Chenweno, Anulix, Mary Igbo. This Mary Igbo, are you really an Igbo woman? Because you are answering Mary Igbo, IGBO. If you are Igbo woman, right there, I'm an Igbo woman, and you tell me where you are coming from. Dorcas Kankuda, Wambura Kamau, Lily Odongo, Akinyi Nyati, Catherine Kawira, Kate, I can see you. Kosam James, I thought you are on leave. Kosam. Anyway, now that you are on leave, that's when you will relax and actually watch this thing from where you're on leave. Kosam, greet all our people in your place where you are relaxing with your wife and children for your leave that is too many months. Patricia Wambua, Ekwele, you are welcome. Sheila, you are welcome. Erastus, God bless you. Patricia, God bless you. Marianto, God bless you. Aoa, Ekwele, Mercy Lynn. Yes, you people are the early birds. You are welcome to this show. It's just like 1 minute to the top of the hour, and we begin. Catherine Kawira. Yes. Chidebelo. This Chidebelo sounds like my guest relatives. Yes. It is Angoli Chidebelo. And I'm seeing Chinenye Chidebelo. All of them are present. Those are the fans of my guests. Those are my relatives. So I know, Auntie Lizzie, you are hearing your people are here. People from your mother's house, they are here watching you. Akinyi and all of you, I am welcoming you people. We are already 117 and we are just beginning. Glory be to God. Keep sharing. Those of you, Mumbi, Kinyua, Cornelius, God bless you. Rose, Salama, Su, Kimani, God bless all of you. Early birds, early birds, good people. Wonderful people that want to build a career that is lasting. Perry Agola, Jemima Omamo, Chris Beth Charity, Abigail, Ida. I know that if I don't call your name today and your name is there, I'm in trouble. Catherine Eric. Yes, Catherine, now I know you, that you are Catherine Eric, and you are saying hello. Then we are talking to Isabella and Dambi, Caroline was there, Ingrid, Namai. I don't know how you people want me to call 120 something names now. I will try. Margaret, yay. Now, the rest of you that are joining now, if I don't call your name, no problem, because you came right on time. We cannot be calling you now. Somebody is saying, you all look beautiful. Yes, me and my cousin, we look beautiful. Somebody else say, very beautiful. Yes. Anybody in the kingdom is beautiful because God is beautiful. Roslyn Okech from Canada. Professor Roslyn. Roslyn is a professor in university in Canada. You are welcome. I know that Roslyn, one of these days I will host you because you are making waves in Canada. Phyllis Ekeya, Charlene Isabella, Nancy. Hey, so many of you. Now allow me to move on with the program because we are now 146. So the rest of the people who will be watching, you will now greet each other for me on the screen. I want to welcome you heartily, excitedly. I am too thrilled, I am too delighted and excited to have my own blood relative in this place. And the little show we did a few days ago attracted a lot of comments, a lot of appreciation, acknowledgement, and people are saying, wow, one woman, just one woman, having all this kind of profile, and not just profile in paper, but in practice. Because there are many people who have so many profiles. Their profiles can go from Mississippi to Olympic to wherever. But at the end of the day, you want to measure what they are doing, and what they are doing are not measurable. But this particular one can be measured, and you know we are right here online and the world is watching. You can easily type. You know, when we say anything, you type and you will see whether it is true or not. So, ladies and gentlemen, as usual, join me to welcome Dr. Lizzie Jidenma, all the way from Lagos, Nigeria. Can we give her a round of applause tonight? Can we give her a round of applause tonight? Can we give her a round of applause tonight? Can we give her a round of applause? Welcome, Auntie, welcome. You will allow me to use both, even though I don't know in English language, a cousin is not supposed to be called auntie, but in our culture, anybody that is elderly, more senior to you can actually be auntie. So allow me to use the word auntie and Dr. Ije professionally, interchangeably. You are welcome to this show, man. God
Thank
bless
you very much, Pastor Esther.
All right. So, like I told you people, that we are hosting a woman that in Nigeria we call their group, their class, Timbers and Calibers. I remember some years ago when I was preaching in our women meeting, and I told you people, you've got to be a timber and a caliber. Those in Kenya were asking, what is timber? How can somebody be timber? So I had to explain what it means to be a timber and a caliber individual. And that's who we have tonight with us. Woman of substance. A timber and a caliber is a woman or a man of influence and of substance. All right, let me give a little bit of an introduction, but I would like her to introduce herself exactly the way she did it on Friday, because quite a good number of you were not on show on Friday because you didn't know I was coming up. So you need to understand her. And when she's giving you her introduction, I want you to cheer her. I want you to really, really, acknowledge and applaud somebody who has achieved this, especially as a widow, as a single mother, but in Christ Jesus. Now, what is the profile? The profile of Dr. Jidenma. Jidenma is the founder and CEO of Leading Edge Consulting Group. She is the partner IRC Global Executive Search Partnership. She is an independent non-executive director, First Bank of Nigeria Limited. Of course, when she was speaking on Friday, she said this is the oldest bank in Nigeria. She is the director and first vice president, Institute of Directors, Nigeria. She is director, Nigeria South Africa Chamber of Commerce. She is the founder and executive secretary for Godi Jidenma Foundation. Her late husband's name was Godi Jidenma. She is a highly accomplished management consultant and professional, a trained psychologist. She is a service-oriented person who has served in leadership and advisory positions in several local and international NGOs. Dr. Jidenma is a literary, enthusiastic, published author, a trainer, academic, coach, mentor, and a respected thought leader. And I want to add, her late father, her late dad, and my mom were siblings. I use the word were because her father is late. My mother is still alive, and they were siblings. And the father, the late father, they were the people that contributed towards the Igbo heritage. Whenever you call Mazi FC Obalo, Dr. FC Obalo, you see Igbo culture, Igbo language. He was noted for Igbo language and Igbo promoter for culture and our heritage. So the name Obalo is a signature in Anambra State, in Igbo land, but more importantly in our state. And you just mentioned Obalo, and they will ask you, is it the one related to FC Obalo? Once you say in Igbo land, do you know FC Obalo? You'll be asked, is it the one of Igbo heritage? And we say yes. There is. We don't have two FC Obalos in the entire Nigeria. That is who her late father was. So, ladies and gentlemen, again back to our guest to give us a briefing in few minutes of this profile. What does this profile come along with? You are welcome, Dr. Ije.
Thank you very much, Pastor Esther. Wow. I don't know where to start, but you've asked me to introduce myself. Well, I would simply say that I'm Dr. Ije Jidenma, and that I'm a Nigerian, an African, and I truly believe in God Almighty, which is something that you are professing, right? I believe that yes. God, in His infinite wisdom, has given lots of talents to people across the world. And it's for us to use those talents that God has given us to help advance His cause. We have to be co-creators with God on earth. So that's why you say, let it be done on earth as it is in heaven. So we should all do our best. My goal is to do my best wherever I find myself in helping to identify these talents, sharpen them, and shape them for the good of humanity. And so that's what I've been doing over these years. I think you've said so much about me. In terms of my background, academic background, I hold a PhD in psychology and specialize in psychometrics. And I've been working in this area, in the area of human resource management, in the area of leadership, in the area of learning and development, and so on over the years, and corporate governance as well. And so all these things I've been using to serve the society in whichever way I can, you know, through my work, through all sorts of things that we do, particularly executive search and selection, because we try to help organizations to find the right people for the right position. Because, you know, some part of the problems we have in this world is not putting the right people in the right places. Even in governance, it's part of it. When you have the wrong people, and when you talk about right or wrong people, you're not just talking about qualifications. You're not just talking about their track records. More importantly, you're talking about their character, their personal attributes, their belief systems, and so on and so forth. So these things are very, very important. In terms of other things, I can see your title is giving back to the society. I've tried as much as I can to do my best to give back to the society in whatever ways I can. I'm involved in a number of non-for-profit organizations, some of which you have mentioned, I'm a director of Center for, I'm on the advisory board of Center for Values in Leadership, which is run by Professor Patu Tommy. And I also am a trustee of Jidenma Foundation. The foundation we set up in honor of my late husband, which we use to promote thought leadership in Africa. We deal with contemporary issues and give people opportunities to listen to well-grounded intellectuals, ask questions, and advance way forward. So we do that through our biannual lectures and other things. Like I said, the initial promo. We've done this since 2007. Our premier lecture was, the guest lecturer was Professor Mabez, and it was on strengthening the foundations and institutions of democracy in Africa, which was well received in Nigeria at that time. It was immediately followed by Professor Ali Mazrui, the well-known Pan-Africanist. Ali Mazrui spoke about the oil and gas, the policies of oil and gas, which is Nigeria's almost the mono products that we have always depended on, and there's need for us to diversify now. After him, we had Professor Issa Elawu that spoke on federalism. We are still in quest of true federalism in the country and to evolve our own governance framework that works for our people, and so on and so forth. I think the last guest lecturer was Professor Lumumba from Kenya. And that's what we've been doing. I've also worked with other organizations like the Institute of Directors of Nigeria, where I'm a director and first vice president. We use this forum to help develop directors, help them to acquire the relevant skills that they need to work, and also advance corporate governance. The fact that it's very important for you to govern or administer your organization in a certain way so that it can be sustainable. You don't want to open an organization today and tomorrow you shut down. It's because of certain elements that you need to have in your organization. Elements like the kind of structure, elements like the kind of processes, and so on and so forth. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Ije. Let me ask you, because I know that one of the greatest challenges we have today in our society is women leadership. Thank God for the just concluded election in the United States of America, where a woman has made history. We have history makers, trailblazers, and pacesetters. She has become the first woman of color, the first to be in that kind of position, and the first woman ever as a vice president of a country like United States of America. Looking at that kind of a thing, it gives a lot of hope to women. It gives a lot of hope to women that let's keep on working hard. Let's keep on doing the right thing, because when God created man and woman, there was nothing like, because you are a woman, I put you here. No. So now yourself, you are not just a woman, but you are representing a larger population of women in Africa and in the world called the single mothers. And you are combining it with a widow as a name because of your late husband. And yet, you have gathered all these profiles. And I'm sure some people are watching and they are asking, how did you do it? So I would like you to please speak to people that are watching now on building a career, living a life despite your circumstance in life. People, I want you to share. Many of you have not shared. Can you share quickly before we move on? I want you to share. I see we are quite a number, and many of you have forgotten. I know you forgot. I know you are wonderful people. You like to share. Be a blessing to somebody. Touch the icon of your Facebook and your YouTube and share. I'm giving you a second to share, because that's the only way that we get thousands of people reached. That's the way we get, because as you share, your contacts will share, your groups will share. I know many of you belong to groups, male and female. Please touch that icon, share. Do it quickly so that you don't miss out on anything. Share quickly. Thank you so much. Don't forget, I've always said, don't be stingy with your fingers. If you cannot give with your finger that God has given you freely, will you give the one in your pocket? No. So make sure that you give. And one way to give to the society right now is to make sure that the narrative is changed. Many single mothers and widows are getting depressed. So many people are getting so depressed because of situations we have found ourselves. Their children, the economy, their career, their jobs. So we need to encourage them by making them hear real life stories of how somebody is making it. So over to you. Noyema Achusi, this is my immediate senior sister in California. She's supposed to be in church, but they called me today and said, this show, we don't know how we are going to sneak out of church, even if it's for a few minutes. So watch this. So let me read what my immediate elder sister who lives in US is saying. She's saying, hi, my great sisters. God potentials are amazing upon your lives. Indeed, as thousands of people are watching this, you are laudable program. May the outcome of this great day be a great blessing to our wonderful audience. To him alone be all the glory and honor forever and ever. In Jesus' most holy name, amen, amen. My sister called me today, 4 a.m. California time. 4 a.m. California time, when I came back from church, and she called. I said, what is the time? Are you awake? She said, I am awake. I am awake. We normally go to church 6:30 California time, because I'm part of those that distribute food. We normally first go get the food for benevolence, philanthropy. She likes generosity a lot. She likes to help people. This, my sister, can help you to a detriment of our own convenience. So she said we go to church 6:30 to go and gather food so that we can distribute to people. So I said, I want to ask you, this show with Auntie Lizzie, please, what is the exact time difference between Kenya and California? Because I want to peep out of church to watch this. And for real, she is watching us. Nayem, God bless you. God bless you. My family is my greatest cheer in ministry. My family. Anything I'm doing, I can count on my family. God bless you, people. So over to you. Please tell us, how do we succeed and excel in a hostile world like this, especially as a single individual?
Thank you very much, Pastor Esther, and thank you very much, Nonye, for signing in. I must say, from even deriving from what she said, everything comes from God. I must confess. It's not by our power or by our might. It's by God's grace. Everything is by God's grace. And like I said before, God has given us talents, and we have to be confident in these talents that God has given us, and try and develop them. The question you've asked me has to do with widowhood and so on. Yes. But I think the major thing is about yourself as an individual. I think we need to know that God has created us as individuals before we come as groups, even before you get married. So as an individual, you have to develop whatever. Try to find out the talents that God has given to you. It may not be obvious, but pray and be diligent in small things. Be diligent in small things, and then you will see how God can help you. I'll give an example. I'll use my consultancy as an example. When I started my consultancy, even though I left my banking job, I would say it's not that I had much money. I didn't really have much money, or did I save much money? Because I left the bank to go and finish my PhD. So when I started my consultancy, I actually started it with merely cerebral resources, I would say, just with your head, right? Because I believe that God has given me the talent of intellect. So that's finding out your talent. And so I did not feel anyhow, not really having anything. And I set out to consult. And it was a lot of work, You have to work very hard. And in working very hard, initially it might look frustrating, trying to get people to support you or patronize you. But I can tell you that if you are diligent in what you are doing, after some time, you find out that it's from referrals, people will now refer other people to you, right? So that is one thing that has worked for me, being diligent and being far-sighted in what you are doing, no matter how small. It's not what I'm talking about might look very, very intangible to some people. They say, consulting, what are you selling? Because it's not tangible. It's just selling your expertise and your time. But I know I can equate it to if you are frying akara, for instance, right? You have to set out early in the morning, like the Proverbs, Proverbs 31 woman, set out in the morning and prepare things ahead of time. Being proactive is something that has also helped me. Proactivity. You don't wait until something happens and then you start finding solution. You can already imagine what would happen. For instance, you can imagine if you're someone that lives like in a congested place like Lagos, and you know where you are setting out and there will be a lot of traffic jam, then you would have planned ahead of time to accommodate that traffic jam. You must plan ahead of time to accommodate one or two distractions before you succeed. And in our own case, if you have to make that phone call 20 times, be prepared to make it. So there's a lot of perseverance, especially in societies, African societies like this, before you can actually succeed. So that's what has helped me. And I would say that one other thing is about mindset. And mindset, it depends on your mindset. If you believe that other people owe you something, then you are in for a lot of disappointment. But if you do not believe people owe you anything, then it would help you in terms of where your mind is in getting things done. That's one thing I've been telling widows. I give talks to widows almost annually. The last talk I gave, I spoke about that is more blessed to give than to receive. And that is true. There's a reason why the Bible said so. You know, in the Bible, there are always mention of widows and orphans. God knows how tough it can be to them. And that's why he has, he tells people to help them, to do this, to do that. But that notwithstanding, you cannot now see yourself as always a receiver. You cannot be an eternal receiver. You should find ways to give, just like I have talked about the talents. If you do not have money, perhaps God has given you wisdom. If you do not have wisdom, you can give service, you can help. If they're doing something, you can help, do one or two things, run errands. There are so many ways you can help to add value. In fact, no matter, if you remember in the Bible, they said the person that gave that God said gave the best was the widow that gave almost all that she had. So It doesn't matter. It might be just that little pear that you have in your compound, or the little papaya you have in your compound, that you can give some to some of those people that give you so much. So don't always think that you are there to receive, that you are on the lower rung. And by so doing, you will see that God will open a lot of vistas to you. Because number one thing about giving is that there's an intrinsic satisfaction in giving. It makes you happy.
Correct.
It makes you stronger. It makes you confident. It helps you in whatever you're doing. So those are part of it. And also, and as you are doing, God will position people that would help you. He will order your footsteps. And like I said before, some people say that luck is about opportunity meeting preparation. So this proactivity thing is very important. If it's that skill, if it's the skill to learn how to sew, you better do that. Because if you do not do that, when the opportunity comes for you to maybe get that loan to establish what you want to establish, you would be at a loss. So those sort of preparations. I remember when I enrolled for a particular program, CEO's program, that was very, very expensive at the time compared with my income. Some people would have thought that it's madness to spend so much, millions. But to me, I knew it was very, very fundamental to what I was doing. So you have to be very, very strategic in your expenses. There are certain things that are very, very strategic in terms of what you are doing. You may look like, you know, that's as if you are doing the wrong thing, but if you are sure about what you are doing, it will really help you. So those kinds of things. For me, given the sort of work I was doing, I believe in continuous learning. And so you see me every now and then. I'm there. I'm all over the world. I'm in Harvard. I'm in wherever. And even in Nigeria, you know, attending many different programs. It's never too late, no matter your age, no matter what you are doing, you need to learn. It's not just because we are doing intellectual work. In whatever, even if it's apprenticeship, the apprenticeship scheme is the best. For instance, if you're a lawyer, if you're an architect, you have to learn from one of the best so that they will teach you. You will learn a lot. It's not just about school. I used to tell a niece that stays with me that there are certain things they do not teach you in Harvard. There are certain things they do not teach you. And so you learn by closely associating with other people. I've closely associated with some mentors. I have a number of people I regard as my mentors. They have actually motivated in so many ways. There are certain attributes I find in them that have been very, very helpful. I don't even have to start to name them because they're so numerous. Even on my board, the Jidenma Foundation, they are bound. Someone like Dr. Mrs. Telopoli, her entrepreneurial drive. When you see her from a distance, you would be saying, oh, how did she have all these companies, MZO Group and all that? But when you work closely with her, you see the enormous energy that she puts into it. That is not a child's play. Motivate you to know that you haven't even started. So some of these people, you know, whether older or younger, help to motivate you in what you are doing. So a number of them, in my advisory board, I have somebody like Dr. Christopher Collade, who is the chair of Leading Edge Consulting. I mean, the man, the way he comports himself and does things, nobody will tell you that you cannot deviate. So interacting with such people helps to reinforce your belief system that it cannot be otherwise, right? So in whatever you are doing, it's not just about us that we are doing consulting. Whether you're in ministry, you are doing ministry just like my cousin. There are certain people that you look up to. I'm sure I was in Kenya when Pastor Adeboye and his wife were at their solution center. So she has some people she looks up to, like what do you call her, Mama G or
Mama Gio,
Mama
Mommy Gio.
Gio.
Yes,
Exactly,
correct.
exactly. So you keep learning from such people. I remember someone like Kuforiji, Dr. Mrs. Kuforiji Olubi, when she was doing her, was it 70th birthday? I worked so closely with her. She wanted me to do so many things for her. And by that interaction, I saw a woman that is so meticulous, a woman that does not take anything for granted, does not assume. But from a distance, you wouldn't know that she would go to that length. So that's, so you get those motivations. In terms of board leadership, our group chair, Dr. Oba Otudeko, when he was chair of Nigeria South Africa Chamber of Commerce, you will see him come without fail at our 7 o'clock breakfast. And at that level, for you to always keep to that, it's not a mean task, because people of that caliber, they have a lot to do. And yet he would make sure that he was there on time. So these are some of the things that they motivate you and help you to be on track.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, you are giving us lecture. I'm sure people are writing. I've seen so many things on the social media. And the good thing about social media is that these things live forever. So even 30 years to come, 50 years to come, if Jesus tarries to come, people will still go on social media and make notes of what you're teaching tonight. We have just begun. This Saturday, we'll be officially launching in Solution Center a forum for professionals and business people. I just felt that we have a lot of them in our church, and we need to form a forum where they can network, sharpen their skills, and create more wealth, create more opportunities for people, learn from one another, organize conferences where they should bring people like you, so that you can come and speak on professionalism. All these professors you are talking about, you deal with professors and directors. By the way, let me tell you people, it was my cousin who introduced me to the acting director general of African Development Bank. Two of them are friends. So when my cousin came to Kenya for holiday, she stayed in the house of the acting director general of African Development Bank, a woman, and she told me to come there to see her. That's how I got to know that woman. That's what we are talking about, networking. That's what we are talking about, knowing people. You can't live in isolation and think that you are local champion in one small localized environment. And you can't be doing something little, and when you are asked to improve on it, you are angry because you say you have done your best. I used to have somebody who I was trying to correct to do things here and there. The fellow told me, for me, I've done my best. That's when I knew that this fellow cannot go beyond that status. There is nothing like my best. We are hearing it now. We keep learning. Every day you keep learning. When you get to a point where you say, this is my best, then you have sealed your life at this level. And unfortunately, you are sealing your life where you are still earning $400 per month, $200 per month, and that is your best. Oh my God, we wake up, Africans, wake up. I was telling my husband yesterday, 78 years, the president-elect of America, United States of America, is 78 years old. 78 years old. And see him running. They were showing him just walking to go to address the people. She was not holding somebody on a stick and somebody holding the waist. He was running. I looked at him. I told my husband, in fact, I asked my husband. I started calling myself by my name. Esther Obasi-Ike, wake up. Esther Obasi-Ike, can you wake up? I was screaming yesterday, calling my name by all my names. I said, you are only 54 years. Look at this man, 78, and he's still ready. His mind is still working at 78 to lead a nation like United States of America. His physique is still working. By today, he said tomorrow there will be a task force that will begin to handle COVID-19. He already has a task force to send to work. He keeps saying, let's work, let's go to work. And some of us are 40, 30 something, 50, and we are complaining that things are hard. So what will you do when you are 70? What will you do when you are 80? And that's what Dr. EJ is saying. We have to persevere. Let me read what my husband has written. I love to read his comment because he's one of my greatest fans. Prince Okechukwu is saying, Dr. EJ Jidenma, my in-law, you are perfectly right. Perseverance in any society and any profession is an essential ingredient to success. Perseverance. We have people today that cannot persevere. Little discipline, they will quit the job. Little correction, they will resign. Not that they are resigning because they have alternative, but they will just tell you that that company is giving him stress. And I normally tell them, even if you leave that company and go home, your bed will give you stress. Don't you know that your bed gives stress? Your bed gives stress because if you oversleep, you sleep, and you're supposed to have 6 hours and you stay 10 hours, the bed will give you headache. The bed will give you trouble. That is stress. There is no place there are no stress in life. It is how you manage it. There is something you said, and I want us to get back to there, Dr. EJ. You talked about mentorship. It will interest you to know that most of the people we hosted before you, they talked about mentorship. In fact, the co-founder of Verica Africa that we hosted last Sunday talked so much about his mentors. The way you are calling them is the way he's calling his mentors. This is somebody that used to be the president of Coca-Cola and at a time president of Coca-Cola. But even at this stage of his life, he was calling mentors. That this is my mentor, this is my mentor. The same way the former vice president of Unilever, when I hosted her, she was talking about her mentors. She said some of them are 80 years, some of them are 80 something mentors. Then you wonder, if this kind of people have mentors, why is it that our younger generation, and I'm talking about our group and people that are younger, they cannot pinpoint at anybody and say, this is my mentor. And you see how you are closely working with them, learning the secret of their success, being able to know how they are making their ways, and you are putting it in your own organization. I want to ask you a question. You started a foundation. Can you tell us a little bit of that foundation? What do you do? What does that foundation do? Because I think it has to do with mentoring and then inspiring the society. What does your foundation do?
Thank you very much, Pastor Esther. Before I go to the foundation, I can also tell you that mentorship these days is not just about older people as well. You can also have young mentors, what we call reverse mentorship. Reverse mentorship, you learn a lot from younger people. I saw you say Chinenye tuned in, Chinenye Chidebel. So they're also my mentors, and my daughter Machi Jidenma. There are certain things that I need to catch up with them to know what is going on. So it's not just about older people, 80 something and all that. The youth also can be mentors. The important thing is that you have to have an open mind to keep learning. It's never over until it is over. So coming to God Jidenma Foundation, it's a foundation I set up in 2007. My husband died in 2006. And it was such a shock to me. It was such a shock because he died suddenly. You know, he had ruptured aneurysm in the brain. He was an architect and he was a people's person.
Oh, yeah, I'm part of his group.
Leader.
Correct.
A servant leader. He was always there for people. He was always there for people. He was either doing this for this person or doing this for that person. He served Anambra State as Commissioner for Works and Commissioner for Commerce and Trade. He was even the chairman when the Pope came. And I watched him work. He gave his all. You could see him, not even sleepy. And that's how he was right from university, when he was also a student leader. So when he died suddenly, it was such a shame. And I felt, how can all his dreams just go like that? So it was just like living out his dream. And most of them we jointly held. Because I remember when the Aki Kenga did ceremony of tributes for Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, which he was chair of. At the background, I was also working with him, contacting different persons, Maita Masule, who is now late, Ali Mazri, all those great people, they contributed to the ceremony of tributes. People flew across Nigeria, and it was such a huge success. So I knew, and we shared a lot in common about making the society a better place. So it was such a shame and such a shock. So it really helped me, because that's the only way to continue with his dreams. So we set up this foundation, and most of the trustees in the foundation were people, I would call them his friends, those whose path crossed his. Some of them like fathers even, because the first chair of the foundation was Professor Ben Wabeze, the well-known constitutional lawyer. And so all of them, Justice Rose Okeje, the first Federal High Court judge in Nigeria. So the main thing is that they shared this dream, and they supported me. And we wanted to promote the things he liked when he was alive, and the sort of things we think he would continue to do. So one of them, I've talked about it, about the lectures that we give. I won't go into that again. Another area is the promotion of excellence and public speaking. He liked public speaking. He practiced public speaking. Even at times helped me to, sort of sharpen up my own public speaking. So we set it up in some schools across Nigeria, schools like Loyola Jesuit College, Birch Freeman School in Surulere, Ezike High School in Nibo, his town, Nnamdi Azikiwe High School in Abagana, and so on. So that we encourage students, because it's good to catch them young. And you see, part of the thing about our public life and public service, that are people, some of them are not inspiring at all as leaders. When they talk to you, they just get pieces of paper and be reading without any inspiration. So we felt that from school, people should learn how to inspire people. Leadership do not come accidentally. You have to prepare people for leadership. And so in some of these schools, the people vie to be school valedictorian. So it's very, very encouraging for them to learn how to do public speaking, and also to get good grades in exams so they can win the Jidenma prize. And apart from that, we've been doing some philanthropy, like I talked about widows. We focused on widows. And also, there are also a certain group of people in society that he always looked out for when he was alive. That women, maybe unmarried, that had no children. And I found that very, I find it intriguing. So I asked him when he was alive, why is it that you're always looking out for these people? And he said, well, in Africa, we don't have pension scheme or workable pension scheme. So many people depend on their children for livelihood. So you see, some of these people have their children send them money from the US, from UK, from Ghana, from South Africa, and so on. But some of these people that do not have children, so in their old age, there's no social security system for them. So you usually used to go around and give them money. So now we are also focusing on people like that in society. So these are some of the things we do. We have other things we have set out to do. Things that have to do with self-discovery and reorientation, because part of the problem we have in Africa is that we don't even know how rich Africa is, our traditions and culture. We think we are poor because people have labeled us poor. We are not poor, we are rich. If only we knew how rich we are, if only we know the history, the Kanem-Bornu civilization, the University of Timbuktu, and so on, we would truly be proud of ourselves. So this is an area that we are working on to reorientate people, especially in Nigeria. Our strength should be in our diversity. Whatever we have a lot to contribute from north, east, south, west. Bring out the best we can. Our problem is that we are not playing with our first 11. I think that's what the problem is. The problem is not about Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, or whatever. And so we must make the best of our diversity so that we can actualize ourselves. Thank you.
Wow. Look at what a woman that is a widow is doing. And she said it very clearly. People don't owe her anything. She said the reason why sometimes people don't act appropriately is because people believe the world owes me. If I am a widow, I am single, I am needy, you people owe me something. She's saying the world does not owe you anything. Anything that people do for you is a privilege, is an honor. But more importantly, you need to get to the class where you are the donor yourself. You are the philanthropist yourself. You are the giver yourself. I want to affirm that her late husband was a people's fellow. He was the one that gave me my first job. When I finished my National Youth Service Corps in Nigeria, in northern part of Nigeria, I came back to Lagos and I called him. That was when he was appointed a commissioner or so. And I just told him that I needed a job. And he said, "What are you doing, Kem?" He said, come down to Enugu, because there was a company, a construction company by the name Bilante, that he was overseeing as the general manager or so. He said, just come. And I came. I was living in a place where they gave me, and the trust they had in me, the safe of that company was in my custody, unbelievably. They took the safe of Bilante company and put under my custody in the guest place where we lived. He used to have a place up there where he was sleeping once in a while, but his house was somewhere else. But I was living permanently there, and they made sure that the security guards there were military armed people, 24/7. And the safe was in my house. I will just even take my clothes, dump on the safe. Thousands of money were in the safe. Then you will see my toilet rolls there, my clothes there. And when I was going, I remember when I told Architect Jidenma that I was going to do mission work, I wanted to leave and resign and go for mission work. He's a humorous, he used to be a very humorous man. So he called me and said, Nkem, hey, you like to open fire. This Nkem, you really like to open fire. The fire you opened for Pastor Priest, for Obasi, because that time, my parents said, my father literally said, this man Obasi will only marry you over my dead body. If that man ever crosses my house again, tell that Obasi, if I see him again, I'll use cutlass for his head. Tell him he should not cross here. He should go to their place and look for a wife. So my story of the rejection that my family gave to my husband, especially my father, when he was coming, was so noted in our family that even Mr. Jidenma, Architect Jidenma, knew. So he called me and he said, Nkem, we are still trying to talk to your father. We are trying to see how to convince your father for this Obasi to marry you. That is one fire you opened. Now the second fire you are opening, the second fire you are opening for us is that you want to go on a mission work. What will you tell your parents? You are a graduate, you just came back from youth corps, and instead of helping your parents or doing something for yourself, you want to do mission work. What kind of a person are you, my God? Can you like to open fire? I told him, sir, I am not opening fire. I know what I need and I want in my life. I explained to him how tight that job was. It was a construction company. We didn't have a Sunday. We didn't have a Saturday. And especially because the safe was in my custody. Every now and then they were calling me, we need to pay contractors, we need to pay people. So I had no Christian life. So I begged him and I said I need to go. When he eventually could not convince me, for the first time, he gave order to that company to shut down the company after 12 noon to give me a befitting send-off. It has never happened in the history of that company. He told them, this girl, what she has done for us, we need to give her a befitting send-off. So shut down after 12, everybody goes to her place for a party. The office will close at 12. Do you know they did auditing and saw that the money at the cash at hand was more than what the money for the organization would be? And they discovered exactly how that money came. It was the gifts people were giving me that I was putting in the company's account. At times I wouldn't know how much because I was very busy at work and I couldn't pick it. I decided, let the company owe me, I will never owe the company. The husband gave me from the company money that took me to that mission work, sustained me to an extent in the school of mission before I was posted to the Berekuta, a village between Kaduna and Niger boundary or so in Nigeria, where I served as a missionary, as a single lady. So I agree that the husband was exactly that. And I thank God that my cousin is leaving the legacy of a man with a large heart. And look at this man. I've never had this kind of thing before. That this man was paying and helping people that had no child because he thought, other people have children and their children are sending them money from abroad. What of these women that never got children? Who is taking care of them? Do you know, I've never thought about that. That there are people who don't have children, they have nobody helping them. That tells you the level of what people are doing in life. Before we go to the final stage of this thing, I want you to remember that tomorrow is our prayer meeting, Turning Point Prayer at exactly 8 p.m. Now we are going to be dealing with the topic, affliction will not rise up the second time. Affliction will not rise up the second time, standing on the book of Nahum, chapter 1, verse 9. Many of you have suffered afflictions, you have suffered all kinds of things, and we are saying the end has come eventually. So tomorrow, 8 p.m. East African time, on my page, Pastor Esther Obasi-Ike, the prayer will be, whatever I have gone through that was painful, whatever I've gone through that was shameful, whatever I had gone through that was demeaning, any taste of experience that was on the negative will not rise up again in my life the second time. That is tomorrow, 8 p.m. Then on Sunday, next Sunday, guess who we will be hosting? We shall be hosting a widower. We shall be hosting a widower that has been a widower for 13 years. The man will be telling us that Mr. Titus Warete, he has a serious story of how his wife died and left him with children, and how he decided, I am not going to remarry now for the sake of my children. We want to listen to him, ask him what widowers are going through, ask him exactly how he's surviving with the children without the wife, ask him what it means to stay single, even as a man. There are many things we need to learn from him, and to also ask him, make sure your husbands are listening with you next Sunday. Make sure that we as single men are listening, your young people, children are listening to see what some fathers, single fathers, sometimes we talk about single mothers, we also have single fathers, and people have decided for the sake of their children, let me remain the way I am so that I build my children. Let us see how fathers love their children to that extent, and what does that mean to a man. So don't miss our next Sunday show, 8 p.m. Here now, as we transit to the final segment of this meeting to call it a night, I want you to remember to share and share and share. Right. I want to ask you two more questions, Dr. EJ. All these profiles you have, founder and CEO, Leading Edge Consulting Group, partner IRC Global Executive Search Partnership, independent non-executive director, First Bank of Nigeria, director and first Vice President, Institute of Directors, Nigeria, Director, Nigeria South Africa Chamber of Commerce, founder and executive secretary, Jidenma Foundation. How do you combine all these things? And you brought up 2 children. I believe that your first daughter works with Google, right? She still works with
Facebook.
Facebook.
Yes.
Yeah, your daughter works with Facebook. In fact, I'm going to call out. I need to learn now that you say there is what is called reverse mentorship. I have always believed that because our son Favor, he is our everything. When you lack this, you call him Favor. How do I touch? You say, Mommy, touch here, touch here. That's what you call reverse mentorship. So mentorship is not just the elderly ones mentoring the younger ones, but the younger ones have something to offer to our time by making us to be relevant technologically. It is the younger people that taught me what I'm doing. All the people that taught me this are younger than me. Some of them are our members, women, but they are much younger than me. Some of them are young boys, and then our son, they are the ones that taught me this. Apollonia, Ivy, Steve, all of them helping me here and there and Favor just to navigate my way. And this is what we call reversed mentorship. And we should be humble enough to go through that reverse mentorship. Now that your daughter works with Facebook, I'm sure there are things I need to know about this Facebook because I use it all the time. I am going to call her. She lives in California. I'm going to call her and I'm going to tell her, Machi, you need to walk me through this. She has been in Solution Center once. There was a time she worshiped with us when she came to work. So I'm going to call her. I'm going to go work with Machi on this something that I'm doing because I want it to be bigger and better. Now tell us, how do you combine all these things, bringing up children of that class that works with Facebook in California, at the same time doing all this, and you are a woman? What can you say in 2 minutes?
Okay, let me say Facebook is a group. She has now opted, she's in the WhatsApp subsidiary right now. Bringing up children, you know, it's not easy, but I must say that Machi had been a very good child, and I didn't have, I had little or no problem with her. She was self-motivated. In fact, when she was in Corona school, primary school, once their headmistress came to their class and challenged all the boys never to allow her to come first again. So the next time she beat them hands down. Actually, it's not easy. At least with the boy, it's not so easy. But on a serious note, even without the children, you know, there's so much to be done. And so I think it's actually the grace of God, because you have to be well to be able to do all these things. It's actually the grace of God. And we must call him at all times. There are times that things are very tough. We must remember. And once we call on him, he will take charge. I think that's what I will be telling people. He said, in all your ways, acknowledge him and lean not onto your own understanding. You know, God sees everything. He sees the past, he sees the present, he sees the future. Some of the things that you think that are so important, God has put them in the right place. Some of people are overwhelmed with things that will never happen, that are imagining. So what has also helped me, we have this philosophy. If you Google desiderata, it's my family. Desiderata.
Deisy. Desy.
Yes, desiderata. In fact, it encapsulates my family philosophy, because in this desiderata you would see that some of the anxieties are dark imaginings. They will never come to be. And you have to be gentle with yourself. You cannot, overdo things. When you see that your body is actually telling you, you take some rest. And in Desiderata, it tells you that you're a child of the universe. You have a right to be here. So don't worry about people bullying you or whatever. And then those talents that God has given you, try to optimize them. Do your best, like I've told you about training, about learning, any learning situation. Take advantage of it. These days, there are free webinars. There's all sorts of things. You don't know, never know which door will open. It's not what you think that would happen. It's God. So you have to prepare yourself in terms of getting yourself equipped. And when the opportunity comes, you will fit in. So, and then so that you are not in competition with anybody. You are in competition with yourself. You are in competition with your potential. So that's the best thing, because when you compete with others, you are envious. You know, in Nigeria, they have this pull him or pull her down syndrome. It's not necessary, because everybody has their own trajectory. God's, your own purpose in life is different, so you don't have to be envious of anybody. You don't have to pull anybody down. So, and if you the more you discover your strengths, the more you play to your strengths, the better you will be. So, in terms of family and work, I must say that it has not been easy. Even when my husband was there, I remember there's a multilateral organization funded program that I actually slept in the office that day with my secretary. Because every now and then I will call him and say, I'm coming back in 5 minutes. We continued working until daybreak, because we wanted to make sure that we met the deadline for that assignment. But it doesn't happen every day. So that's it. You have to be strategic to know what is important. So it's not about this one being more important than the other. There are some family matters like health that you know that is very, very crucial. So when such happens, then that must be priority. So it's having that sense of balancing that is really required. So it's not the easiest of tasks,
Wow.
I must say. It's not the easiest of tasks, but with God, you have the wisdom to know the difference and to get your priorities right.
Wow, you know, one thing that has not left your mouth with since we started is God, God, God. Everything you are saying, it is God. What does that tell us, ladies and gentlemen? You cannot succeed or survive outside God. Stop managing yourself. Stop telling yourself, you know, I can do it on my own. It must be under God to survive. She kept saying from the beginning, her opening remark was, I am a child of God. She started with that, I believe in God, the values of God. She's been quoting scriptures all through. And that tells you where her strength is derived from. It is from God. And if you are a widow or single, even though we all need God, but you will discover that there are people you just don't even have human beings to lean on. It has to be God and God alone. So we have had it again, God, 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 God. He will give you wisdom. And I love what he said. He said, be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with yourself. That is an area even myself I'm working on, because at times I set so much goal for myself that the body is telling you slow down, and you are thinking I need to achieve this. So once in a while, through the wise counsel of people around me, you keep hearing them say, "Mommy, you need to slow down a bit. Mommy, you need to take a rest. Mommy, in any can we help you? We can do A, B, C, D." And that is helping me to navigate. So you have had it, be gentle on yourself, but that does not endorse laziness and lousiness. It is after you have worked and you are satisfied that you have worked and that the body needs a rest. That's why in organizations there is what we call annual leave. You can take your annual leave and rest. As we want to bring this to a close, just in 1 minute, I know you came from a very affluent background. Because I know that there are people who are watching and they may be saying, maybe because your dad was this, your mom is this, your family, that's why you succeeded. I know that you are coming from a very affluent background. In my mother's family, where you are from, it's only few professions that are not there. I think when you talk about professions that are not there, it's like pilot. being a pilot, those extraordinary skills. But other skills, medical people are there, even younger generation, children now, medical doctors in that family, accountants are there, engineers are there, professors are there, teachers are everywhere, left, right, lecturers are all over. It's a family of academicians and highly successful, serious profile people. Serious profile people. Do you think that this background shaped you? Or do you have a word for maybe somebody that may not have been privileged to come from this kind of a background?
Pastor Esther, I beg to differ from you. I think I come from a modest background, not affluent. Modest.
What do you call modest? When you didn't lack anything, when you were growing up?
Modest but highly respected family. Okay. Yes, we are not about money or wealth or whatever. It's about values, and I don't think that values have to do with the whether you are wealthy or not. It is about what matters, what you pay attention to, right? If of course, the family you come from must always affect you in your dealings, but not the way you are talking about. It's not about affluence. It is about those values. Let me give you an example. As a child, I still recall, one day I came out from our house and I saw one woman crying, and I was wondering what happened. Apparently, these people brought a lot of things to my dad, but he refused to take them. He refused to take them. He was wondering why they should do that. So those kinds of values. So that affected me. So I cannot remove my family from that. Those kinds of values. Modesty. When he died, one of the people that gave tribute, they said he was someone that did not throw his weight around. He didn't throw his weight around. So such things, modesty. Those are the sort of values, and humility, and also helping others. So those kinds of values. You can find those values in any family, rich, poor, or middle class. So I think that's where we should go back to value system. People, what matters. It doesn't matter. In some families, you will be astounded the kinds of things that they glorify, just as in the wider society, what they glorify and all that. We should learn to glorify enduring values. That's when they talk about sustainability. That's why they say that character is important. And that's why they say, in some cases where you say, some people tell you, I don't care. All I want is result. I don't care how you get the result. No, in my own case, I'm interested in how you get the result. Correct. The means is important. It's not just the end. The means is as important as the end. So yeah, that would be my parting note.
All right. When I said affluent, maybe I used the wrong word. I wasn't talking of financially rich. Yes. I know also it's a comfortable family. It's a comfortable family. You didn't borrow to go to school. You had drivers that were driving you. Yes. I'm only saying those values you are talking about are the wealth that I'm talking about. That you came up from a family that appreciated character, a family that appreciates education. Education. Yes. Education was key in that family and has remained key even up to this present time. So those are the kind of wealth I am talking about, not financial power. I was talking about people that had values, that had visionaries, people that even at that tender age saw how you can contribute to society, how you can give back to society, always thinking of how do we help? How do we help? So that's the kind of wealth that I was talking about. All right. So ladies and gentlemen.
So if I can come in so that we can close nicely. Yes, I get what you mean, like education, if you have that opportunity. Let me give you an example of someone that is living with us now. He's an office assistant from, we literally picked him from the streets. He was staying in an uncompleted building, but this boy is very sharp and very, so we've been watching him to see the sort of values and all that, and he seemed to have very good values. So what I would say to people like that, try. Unknown to him, I've made up my mind that if he keeps to these values that I'm going to train him, he doesn't yet know. So, but try and I mean, keep up to these values. You shouldn't go and start stealing and doing something that is not good. God may open a way for you and make your life a lot better than you had envisioned. Yes.
Excellent. That's what I was trying to see
Yes.
talk about, because whether rich family or poor family, character remains the same.
Yes.
And
Yes.
character is not formed by the wealth we have
Yes.
in the bank. Character
Yes.
is not formed by where we live in a very poor area. Character is a value system that you can find in families. And for those that perhaps were not privileged to be found or grew up in such a family that has such values, what we are now doing today should help to shape their characters. And some of us who come from such family that have value system of character must not compromise it for any reason. It's a wealth. As far as I'm concerned, character is a wealth. Character is a wealth. You can bank it. You can take it to the bank. You can take it to anywhere, and you never bounce. It never bounces. So that's what we are trying to say, that our family values can shape us. But again, in case we are not privileged to come up from that such background, you can now learn. You can acquire it and now build the one to lay that foundation for the family that you're building. Because at the end of it all, character wins. It wins all the time. It wins all the time. Ladies and gentlemen, you have seen that there has not been a single guest on this show that is a professional that spoke without mentioning character. Not one. Consistently and independently. They don't know each other as so much of the topic or whatever. None of them came here without talking about character. I want to let you know, ladies and gentlemen, no matter how hardworking you are, no matter how intelligent you are, no matter how smart you are, without character, you will destroy other elements. You will destroy other values. So whatever you build with character will last. Whatever you build with charisma will not stand the test of time. If you build anything just on charisma, it will not last. But when you build on character, you are guaranteed it will last. I think this is where we will be parting tonight. Don't forget that tomorrow affliction will not rise up the second time, 8 p.m. And on Sunday, we shall be engaging a widower for 13 years to see his journey as a widower and how single-handedly as a father is training the children and how he's coping with life. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to share this. Don't forget to share this. I would have read all your comments, but time is gone by 15 minutes. So I want us to sincerely thank and appreciate our guest tonight, Dr. Jidenma, all the way in Nigeria, telling us what she is doing with her life. We pray for her that the Lord will strengthen her the more, the Lord will grace her the more, the Lord will send her more helpers. That foundation of her late husband that she started to build on the legacy of this man will continue to prosper. Widows will benefit from it. Young children in school will benefit from it. And the childless will benefit from it. I pray that the show of tonight inspires all of us to ask one question. Why am I here? What on earth am I doing here? What on earth am I doing here? Am I here to live a miserable life and to die miserably? Or am I here to live a life to contribute towards the progress of other people and leave a legacy behind? May that question be answered by this show of tonight. Dr. Liz Jidenma, thank you so much. We appreciate you, and we will have you some other time as we continue. We have a widows fellowship. I pray that you will also engage our widows, since you normally speak annually to widows. Maybe one of these days, even if it's on Zoom, you can be able to speak to our widows to inspire them to be stronger. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Pastor Esther Obasi-Ike. In all that you are doing in Kenya, we are proud of what you are doing because we believe in Africa and we must try and do our best for our continent. Thank you.
God bless you, and good night.
Good night. Bye.
And good night to all our viewers. God bless you. Have a beautiful week.